it's worrying when continually in this country, teachers, nurses, and other service staff who are recruited will have to spend months before receiving their salaries. It's been what I always call a normal military exercise. It's been occurring frequently, and it's not something that is akin to this particular government. In this Fourth Republic, it's almost become like a norm that teachers will be recruited, nurses will be recruited, sometimes even doctors. And for months, they will not be receiving their salaries. Many have explained it as structural defects within our employment sector, that when they are recruited, it takes a lot of time for their documentations and their processes to be gone through before they are able to get onto their controller and accountant general system to be paid. So sometimes those processes are the things that delay such payments of salaries.
Is it that there's too much bureaucracy in this system?
There is. Within the system, there is. You see, sometimes the prominence is given to teachers and nurses because they have the opportunity to voice out. I know within some of the security services, it also happens. But just that sometimes theirs don't last that long. Sometimes 2 months, 3 months. I remember even when we came into government in 2009, some of us will have to stay for almost about 6 months before we actually got onto the system and were paid.
Yeah, I think one of the papers is actually reporting that the ministers haven't been paid.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
So it is a structural defect that we have within our administrative system. And I think we should be looking at how promptly people are employed, and immediately they are employed, they are captured onto the data system so that their benefits will be paid for them when they are due. Because sometimes it's very worrying when people who have no jobs, who have just been secure jobs, and then they have to depend on their parents or other people. If they were not working and they go to those people and ask for support, the magnanimity of those people will definitely be there. But when it is clear that you are working and then you go to tell somebody you need support, the person will be wondering, why would you need the support when you are working? And then look at the situation where you were not working, somebody was supporting you up and down, and all of a sudden you secure the job. And then 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, you still going to the person and asking for support. The person will be wondering what is really happening to you. So I think that between the Controller and Accountant General and the Ministry of Labor, we should be looking at these issues critically and see how we'll resolve them, because it's becoming a perennial thing, and I don't think it is right. I don't think I will support anything that will want to sustain such a defect within our system. I think we must try in this our reset agenda to remove the obstacles that always lead to the situation where people will be employed or recruited for months. You know, at least maximum 1 month. Maximum 1 month, the person should. But then it brings us to other issues, especially from the perspective of the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. Nana, I think as a country, we must be able to sit down and have a comprehensive analysis of our job market.
Okay.
At this point in time, do we need teachers? Yes. How many teachers do we need? What type of teachers do we need? What is even our educational tangentials? What are the goals, the immediate short-term goals are we setting as a country for our educational system? So if, for example, for the next 10 years, our focus is going to be manufacturing and production,
Okay.
how do we produce those skilled manpower to be able to take care of that sector? So in that situation, can we tweak our educational system a bit to see how do we recruit more teachers to teach those subjects so that we can have more of our children coming out from that area? For the past months, let me tell you, I've been struck and I've become addicted to watching Steve Harvey.
Right.
and I look at the kids who appear on this program. 4 years, 5 years, some of them are already scientists.
Yeah.
So it tells you in other jurisdictions, right from birth, children are introduced to the sectors and the areas they have desires for or aspirations for. And they are given that education and it opens them up.
Yeah.
So they don't need to go through all this laborious educational system. So that if it is our wish that in the next 10 years we want to have more engineers, then right from our basic level, let's see how we can open up to have more children learning engineering. In that situation, the next 5 years, what are we doing? We are recruiting people who will be teaching engineering.
Could that be the idea behind the STEM schools that were?
It's not only about STEM, but I'm looking at generally how to be able to focus so that when we know that we need to recruit 10,000 teachers, then government makes provision in the budget for recruitment of 10,000 teachers. They are training and they are posting. So by the time they are posted, there won't be any issue about their salaries being in arrears or money is not ready to pay them or they not be captured in the data system. So you have to go through this. So you understand? So that if it is about police men that we are recruiting, we know that the next 10 years we need 10,000 policemen, police officers. We start preparing ourselves and say, this year we are recruiting 2,000, 3,000.
Right.
We make provision in the budget so that as soon as they are recruited, there is money to take care of them.
So you don't do the recruitment en masse?
That is the issue. We don't do recruitment en masse.
Based on what can be accommodated
We've
in the
been
budget.
doing recruitment according to political whims and caprices.
Right.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm
The second coming.
into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or being late?
Of course.
In the domestic debt exchange
Exchange
program.
program. Yeah.
So we know that difficulty as far as our financing was concerned. And we continually were just recruiting because we wanted votes. Because our people have not been happy that for years, 4 years or 8 years down the line, they've not secured jobs.
True.
So now we've waited at the end of the 8 years, we are just opening the floodgates and just. Meanwhile, in this country, we've seen series of economic policies that have led to retrenchments, reorganizations, several. When I was working in GBC, it got to a time they said we're having more staff than necessary.
Right.
So there had to be staff retrenchment. You understand? Those days, we've moved out from the old system. So those who were in charge of radio fusion boxes and things were no more needed. So they have to look, either they are integrated into the system in one way or the other, if they are technicians, or they have to be laid off. We saw so many institutions, even within the oil industry, people were laid off. And not restructuring became the order of the day. It was because the government budget could not support the level of employment. As we see today, somewhere last 2 years, we were all screaming in this country that almost 70% of our total revenue was taking care of about 600 and something thousand of our public and civil service staff.
Yeah.
You understand? So, critically speaking, I asked myself, what are we doing in terms of employment, in terms of how we can mobilize the needed resources to be, because the revenue base does not increase as fast as the level of recruitment.
True.
So, if we are recruiting consistently because we want to satisfy certain political interests, then what are we doing to the national kitty? Where were we expecting to get the money to be able to take care of the people we were recruiting? And that's exactly what the minister is talking about. I think there should be some rationalization in our employment sector, where we look at how much we have as a country to pay for emoluments, and then we can determine whether there is a need within this short term we can recruit or we have to postpone recruitment. Because if we don't do that, we shall always continually recruit people, recruit them, and we will not have the sort of revenue to take care of them. Let me say, for example, today, we have certain areas in this country where you could have 1 or 2 teachers only for a whole school.
Yeah.
So one of them is the headmaster, and he's also teaching about 3-4 classes. We have certain parts of this country where we have excess teachers. Because everybody who is recruited today in the Ghana Education Service want to be in Accra or Greater Accra region, Ashanti region, or Eastern region.
Right.
He wouldn't want to go to Western North or Upper East, Savannah, or other places. They wouldn't want to go there. So everybody, as a politician sitting there, I can tell you, there have been so many times when I've had people who will call, Honorable, please, I've been posted to some village here and I want to be transferred to Kumasi or I want to be transferred to Accra.
Everyone wants to be in the big cities.
Yes, and the Ghana Education Service is aware that we have glut of teachers in certain parts of the country and virtually none in certain parts of the country. Rationalization should be done. Then we can come out to say that, look, yes, within the educational sector, we have this number of vacancies for administrative. And we have this number of vacancies for classroom work. So within the next year or next 2 years, we are recruiting this number of people. Then the finance minister also will be able to know that we must make provision in the budget to take care of these people. But we recruit people without considering where the money will be coming from to pay them. And it's all about politics. It's all about politics, and it is something that has persisted, and as a country, we need to sit down and critically look at it. I'm thinking that, look, when we're doing our manifesto, we did a very good work on our job needs.
Okay.
And so, as of today, I can tell you that the John Dramani Mahama government will not just get up and recruit. Because we've assessed and we know the various sectors, the number of people that need to be recruited in this year, next year, and next 2 years. I know it will be a bit frustrating to some of our party people who will think that we've come to power and as such we need jobs all of a sudden.
Right.
Some would get the jobs.
And they'll begin to mount pressure.
But I'm saying that because we've determined the sort of numbers that we need in the various sectors, continually, the Minister of Finance will be making provision to take care of those ones.
Right.
But I'm looking at 2028, where all of a sudden there's pressure for all angles on government to recruit. You understand?
Yeah.
Then you see us, politicians, definitely, not considering the effect on the national kitty recruiting. And then that's exactly what we saw in 2024.
Right.
So Rashid is actually referring to the unbridled recruitments that were carried out in the various sectors of the economy, especially within the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana Health Service and the security services in between 2023 and 2024. We complained about it in Parliament. There were situations where people were being recruited, and when you ask, they said, oh, this was a backlog of people who were supposed to be recruited in 2019, and they were not recruited. Services, one of the major considerations in the service recruitment is age. So if somebody is supposed to be 25 and the recruitment is 2019 and he wasn't recruited, how does that person qualify to be recruited in 2024?
Right.
You understand? The person's age will have, he will have gone beyond the distance. That's why we saw so many characters and faces of people, some of them look older than me, who have been recruited and they were in security service uniforms.
Right.
I think we need to sanitize the system, and we should look at the effect of such recruitments on the national kitty before we consider political aggrandizements.
Right.